I'm at a Lambeau Field alongside Ellie French. I'm Michael Gross, and we are getting set for what is, I guess, maybe the game of the year thus far between the Packers and
Oh,
the
without
Bears,
doubt.
with a chance for not just the top spot in the NFC North, but possibly even the NFC on the line.
That's where the Bears stand right now. And this week, when you talk to guys, Christian Watson said, it starts with the North. They're in the top spot. That's where they want to be. But of course, they'd love to have that top playoff spot, get that first round bye as well. So a lot at stake in this game. The 211th meeting between these two teams. But this one feels different as opposed to just how the matchups have felt over the last 20 plus years. I mean, this is the first time that both teams in the regular season are meeting, both of them 5 games over 500. The last time that happened was December 9th of 2001. So 24 years it's been since the stakes have been really this high between these both teams and what they're fighting for. And this week, guys talked about it's playoff football time per se. These are when the games matter. And nothing is better than the fact that it's a game that matters against a divisional foe.
Yeah, there's so much to break down in this game, going from the Bears offense to the Packers defense, against the Bears, the Packers offense, Jordan Love and Toyotathon.
Yeah.
Why don't we start, though, with the Bears offense and what really makes them going in their
Maybe we
run
should
game.
start with an active.
Oh, you know what?
First. That's
Good
usually
call.
just how
Let's do that.
but I like to think.
Let's do that. Inactives. Jaden Reed will play today.
We'll just rattle off the full list of actives and inactives. That is a huge one for sure. He was taken off activated yesterday off of injured reserve, which is, a sign that usually the guy is going to play in the game today. You're still like, well, we'll see, but it felt pretty confident that because the Packers made that move Saturday, activating him off injured reserve, that he was going to be. Just saw him run out for warm-ups. He's excited. He's a Naperville native, so he's from a suburb of Chicago. So getting to return against his hometown team after breaking his collarbone week 2 against the Commanders is very exciting for him. So he is a huge active in this game. Also, Packers rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden, who's missed 3 of the last 4 games. He's also active today. So this is actually the first time, because Christian Watson obviously didn't come on until later in the season as he was recovering from that torn ACL. This is the first time that we're going to get Matthew Golden, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Dontavian Wicks, all 5 of those guys playing in a game this season.
Yeah,
which is unreal.
It's pretty amazing stuff, especially when you have that type of arsenal for a quarterback who this time of year, from week 12 on, in the last, however many years, 3 years, is 33 touchdowns and 1 interception, an incredible passer rating as well.
Yeah, and just the different things you can do with him too. I mean, the yak that Jaden Reed brings, but also just the end arounds. They love using him in those scenarios. So that's huge. Another really big one that I really didn't think he was going to be active today, but he is safety Javon Bullard. I don't know. It kind of seemed like he possibly wasn't. I know he didn't practice one of the days, I believe, this week.
Yeah, earlier this week, Matt LaFleur
an ankle injury
told us there was an ankle injury. It just kind of popped up out of nowhere.
So I kind of didn't think he was going to be available today, but clearly they're like, hey, dude, you're our slot guy. We really need you, especially when it comes to those nickel defense.
And he's been really good, out there in the secondary.
Jeff Hapley with high praise for him this week.
Yeah.
So that's another big one. Yes, as we mentioned, Jaden Reed, Nate Hobbs also active today as well. So some of the inactives, Savion Williams is going to be inactive. Lucas Van Ness is going to be inactive. It's interesting too, as he still kind of tries to work his way back from that injury that sidelined him for a lot of games this season. Another interesting one too is Nazir Stackhouse inactive today. So what that indicates is Jordan Riley, who they signed from the Giants practice squad that week, it looks like he's getting the nod over Nazir Stackhouse. And Jordan Riley even saying this week in an article that I read from Bill Hubert that he's like, I was brought in to help stop the run. And we know that's going to be key in this game today when you look at what the Bears have been doing in the run game.
Yeah, there's something to be said about what Kyle Monunga and DeAndre Swift have been doing this year, that they've been one of the best tandems in all of football in the run game. That's part of the reason why the Bears are 9-3, and they're so difficult to prepare for, because Caleb Williams is starting to get comfortable now in throwing the football. That had been an issue last year, where he hadn't been comfortable as a rookie, and now he's starting to get into that comfort zone where even when he doesn't throw the ball, he can rely on his tandem in the backfield to still make up those yards.
That's kind of what they have been relying on a lot. I know that Ben Johnson was asked this week about comments he made, and it's not like he's mad at where the passing game is at, but he knows that things could be better, and so they've had that success with the run game, and that's been huge for them. It's been able to mask maybe some of those issues they have had in the passing game. And speaking of that too, when you want to talk inactives today, Roman Dunze is not going to be playing today for the Bears. He's their top pass catcher. that is huge to not have him in this game. This is the first game that he's missing this season, but I guess he's been dealing with a lingering foot injury. So that'll be interesting to see for him not being out there today, but they like to get Colson Loveland in the mix as well. Their rookie tight end. You still got DJ Moore. So, and of course, the run game too. So that's going to be priority number one, is the Packers having to stop that two-headed monster that they have in DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai.
Yeah, and it will start and stop with Micah Parsons' his ability to get through what is the best offensive line to this point of the season in the NFL. They've got 4 guys that grade out in the top 10 of pass protection of Caleb Williams. Everybody but the left tackle is in the top 10. A couple of them in the top 5. And so when you look at it,
their match today. We'll see.
Yeah, when you look at the matchup as a whole, what Micah Parsons said this week about feeling like he's disrespected still, and he has to earn respect every single week.
I'd
Some
like
people
to meet
said,
whoever he thinks he feels disrespected
defensive
by.
coordinator Jeff Hafley said the same thing. I guess my question to you is, what type of impact does Micah Parsons need to have in order for the Packers defense to stunt a really good Chicago offense?
I think it will, and who knows what this game will come down to. It will be one of those down to the wire type games, as we saw from both their meetings last season. But then you have so much confidence in Micah Parsons for that reason, because 8 of his 12.5 sacks this season have come in the fourth quarter. So he's a guy that shows up when the lights are shining the brightest.
That's what they signed him for.
Exactly.
That's what they traded for him.
I just think that if it comes down to that, and he can deliver in the moments like we have seen him this season when he did so against the Cardinals, that comes to the top of my mind, then if he just can show up in the moment where if the game's close, he can get them over the hump, then yeah.
Big one, though, for the Bears, no Rome Odunze. You wanted to mention that as well. One of Caleb Williams' favorite targets, I guess, so far.
He's their top target this season,
And there's no Rome Odunze, which means that they're going to have to rely on, like you said, a Colston Loveland.
Luther Burden, their rookie as well, too, will step in. And, it's always interesting to see how that will kind of play out. But one thing you got to be aware of, too, and I haven't watched as much this season with Caleb Williams, if he has been as mobile. I know that when we talked to some, like Xavier McKinney, I remember specifically mentioning this week, like talking about him being smarter about knowing when to take off, as opposed to the Caleb Williams that we saw from last season, really just kind of taking off and maybe not going through all his reads. That's something to keep in mind of too as well with him, just knowing that he is a mobile quarterback and that he will take off. So I'm curious to see though how much he really has run this season and how much we might have to see him do so today if that pressure comes, right?
These are the types of games where you can really see guys go one of two ways in terms of their maturity and growth, as to what kind of a player they might be later on in their NFL career.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, one of them. One thing that Matt Schneidman of The Athletic just tweeted out, just popped up on my phone, Anthony Belton, according to pregame warmups, will make the start at right guard. That's just according to the pregame warmups. He's been good at right guard, but he has been taking some spots there from Jordan Morgan. Just thought it was important to note that Anthony Belton, they have a lot of trust in him, a lot of faith in the first year at NC State.
And it's kind of just been musical offensive linemen this season for the Packers, a lot because of injuries and just the way that they shuffled things around with moving Elton Jenkins to the center and signing Aaron Banks in the offseason. So I think and it's hard to say because they had such a great offensive line last season. It's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type thing. But I think they had that confidence that Elton Jenkins was going to be an all-pro center. And unfortunately, he's hurt. He's done for the season.
He actually scootered by us before. Yeah, he did. He scootered by out to the elevator.
Spoke it into existence.
Exactly.
But they seem to have found something in their recent games with this sort of mix that they have. And now Sean Ryan's gotten some reps under his belt at center. And so, it seems like kind of the formula they have. Of course, if guys can stay healthy, seems to be working with Anthony Belton at that right guard spot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Might be time to make some predictions.
All right, you're first.
Oh, I'm first. Okay. So Matt Schneidman of The Athletic said something interesting this week. He said, I can picture an overtime game where the Packers win it on a field goal, 30-27. That's what he said. That's not my prediction. I don't mind the overtime prediction, but I do think it will come down to a last-second field goal. I feel
like that sounds familiar. It's almost like that's what it came down to the last
game,
the 2 games
there
last
might be
well,
some...
I should say a blocked field goal.
That's true, but there might be just some truth to that storyline continuing here in 2025. I'm going to go 31-28 with the last-second field goal. Matt went 30-27. I just think that this will be much more high-scoring than I think people realize, because I think Caleb Williams can keep up with Jordan Love this time of year because he is feeling whatever he's feeling right now. He's feeling it, and I think he's playing exceptionally well.
Yeah, I'm not going to go that high scoring, and I'm not going to go as specific as like it's going to come down to this or it's going to. I don't think it'll end up going in overtime. You never know. We'll see. It would be a lot of fun considering the first meeting, and they'll see each other again in 2 weeks. But I'm thinking more along the 24-20 Packers range. That's what I'm going to go with.
So not 27 points. They're not going to score 27 points in a win today.
We've already seen that come to an end a little bit. But yeah,
true.
give me 24-20. Packers getting the win here, but I think they're going to split the series this season. So,
well, you can catch Ellie French reporting from here later on tonight on Fox 11. I will be with you in the studio. In the meantime, please enjoy the game. 3:25 kick from here at Lambeau Field.
The battle for the North.
It sure is. Alongside Ellie French, I'm Michael Gross. We'll see you later.